Welcome back to episode 91 of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iron.
What's up, Willis?
What is up, dude?
Oh man, all kinds of shit, dude.
Yeah,
Crazy world we're living in.
Bitcoin's at $16,800, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
come
it's
on.
it's like it's barely starting to register with me.
Dude, this is...
I'm not sure if it's because I'm too like sidetracked and distracted. You know what I mean? Like
It probably
I'm not
is.
a fucking
It probably is.
Has to be, right?
Yeah. Dude.
But I don't think so, dude. I think this is like normal market psychology. I think like a lot of us are still in disbelief, dude. If you pulled up that stupid bubble chart that everybody kind of refers to nowadays, we're in that part of the cycle that's like disbelief, right? We're like pre-bull cycle. You know what I mean?
I know, but that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. That means it's working.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel. Like, man.
Yeah, disbelief.
This is bullshit. Like, yeah, it's all going to come tumbling down any minute now. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, for sure. It is going to come down. But the point here is not necessarily what the absolute price of Bitcoin is right now. It's that it's just hanging out at 16,000. Like it's easy.
Yeah. Bring yourself back to early 2018 when we were at $16,000 Bitcoin, dude. Remember the energy back then, dude? It was insane.
Yeah.
It was like madness in the streets, literally. Like people selling their houses, liquidating all their freaking private assets to try and get on this train.
Are you talking about, you mean 2017, right? On its way up.
No, like late 2018 is like, oh wait, yeah, that was 2017, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was late 2017.
Yeah, 2017,
yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, well, take yourself back to those days, dude. Like,
yeah, everybody was liquidating everything just to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And
soon after that, same price, but 3 years later, basically.
Yeah. Not only that, I mean,
really,
16,000. It spent maybe a couple of hours at 16,000 before it just kept going up. And so we've spent over, I don't know, maybe at least a couple of days above 16,000, but we spent over 3.5 months over $10,000, which has never happened before.
Yeah, dude. And it doesn't feel like that long ago. It was like six months ago when the world was collapsing. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
That's like, right. I was thinking like this is the end type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin's failed experiment, dude. Definitely not store of value, dude. Fake news, all that shit. You know, like I that was a crazy event, dude. And almost feels coordinated at this point. Like, you know, Satoshi probably created COVID, dude, or something. You know, like whoever's in charge of creating Bitcoin, like probably the same whatever entity or like maybe you can call this thing God. I don't know. Whoever's in control of this whole thing.
Yeah,
it's like they took COVID. They took COVID out of the same like menu of like playing SimCity. Like I'm just gonna put this into society just to see what happens. You know? It's like Bitcoin is one. That's just to shake up the nest a little bit, see what happens, and then COVID's another one. It's like it's out of the same class of like.
I see. Like every decade, there's like a human shifting event, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin was one. COVID is another.
Well, before that was probably like 9/11.
9/11,
like
yeah.
That. Yeah, these are like paradigm shifting events, you know, like
every decade.
They seem to come like once every 10 years, yeah. And like the market always like corrects every 10 years. I don't know what it is, dude.
That's true, man.
It's very weird.
You have a point.
It's a weird world, like the way I started to do. Weird world we live in, dude. So
it's like it's a wave, man. We have our ups and downs. I think that's like maybe that's just the status quo of nature. Right,
the ebb and flow.
Yeah, it's just things go up and things go down, and that's it.
Those freaking Chinese are right, dude. The yin and yang. Is that
Chinese? Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, dude. Life always finds a way to balance itself out, dude. Can't have too much of a good thing and too much of a bad thing, dude. It's just like we gotta balance this shit. So,
but the fact that $16,000 Bitcoin is just hanging out, like, it's on schedule. Like, who would have thought? Right?
Well, we totally thought.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We totally thought. Like, we 100%. That's what's blowing my mind about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still like hardly react to it. You know.
Yeah, that's what shocks me.
Yeah.
It's like I can't believe it, And I think the crypto community is just equally as surprised as the two of us are.
Yeah.
But the mainstream, they're like, hey, $16,000 Bitcoin again. Look at that. But that's it.
Yeah. So like, and then it just continues on like that for me. There's like something in my brain that just totally sucks. And I'm like, and it's like I'm witnessing it happening a second time.
Yeah.
And I'm still not a believer to the point where like this is definitely not going to happen again after this.
See,
like,
that's why.
you know what I mean?
That's why I said that there's a chance. Bitcoin, everybody's projecting Bitcoin to go to 100K, 200K, whatever it is.
Yeah, somewhere in that range, right?
And I think there's a chance that the big whales that are holding huge Bitcoin bags are going to dump at 80,000. And that's the
just
peak.
to like throw some kind of curveball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that's a chance, right?
Yeah,
of course.
I mean, because you have to dump on somebody buying your bag, right? What are the odds that people are still buying Bitcoin at $200,000?
Pretty good odds, dude. They were buying at 20,000 3 years ago, and like 3 years or like a year or two prior to that, when Bitcoin was hovering around $1,200, you probably would have been saying the same thing. What are the odds?
Yeah,
people are gonna be buying $20,000 Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
it fucking happened, dude. And here we are about to revisit that same reality. That's what's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's mind-boggling what's happening, dude. Like, dude, I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't like thinking about it. It gives me the jeebies.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking this bull run is going to be unlike the others, dude. It has to be.
I think the thing that has to change now is because in order for Bitcoin to get to that kind of valuation that everyone's like projecting and predicting, in the six figures per big, like all of a sudden we're talking market caps the size of like in the realm of, large scale, widely adopted traditional assets. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that would mean Bitcoin is 5 times its valuation. Right now, Bitcoin's at $300 billion. That's 1.5 trillion.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's the whole market cap, isn't it?
No.
Is Bitcoin at 300 billion?
Yeah, 300 million. Yeah.
Or 300 billion.
Sorry, 300 billion. Yeah, 300 billion.
Hold on, dude. I need verification.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah, I looked at it. I looked at it a few minutes ago. It's at 300 billion. So
holy crap, dude, you're right.
Yeah, so 300 billion, and let's just make it easy on ourselves. It's $20,000 Bitcoin at 300 billion. So we think the peak is going to be at 100K, so that's 5 times. That's $1.5 trillion asset.
Dude, that's freaking insane. Yeah, see, so all of a sudden the narrative is shifting.
It's insane, but compared to gold, it's still, 10% of it?
Yeah, but dude, gold's a freaking dinosaur, dude. Like,
no, for sure. But
kingdoms have been come and gone.
What I'm saying is, even $100,000 Bitcoin is still cheap compared to gold.
But it's no longer to the point where like you could speculate that this thing is like a fad. This is just this is just a bunch of techno nerds just pumping up the price, dude. $1.5 trillion is dude. There's not enough nerds in the world to get that amount of money together. You know what I mean? That's so much fucking money. I think we're talking like government, like hoarding at that level, or like you're gonna start to see,
at a trillion. I mean,
you might start to see government start to FOMO in. You know what I mean?
I mean, we've seen Coinbase. Wait, what was it? Coinbase? No, Binance. FOMO in on sushi and what else? Yeah, I mean, we've seen these. We've seen huge companies FOMO. To see a country FOMO, it's very possible.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how powerful of an entity you are. Like, you're still at the whim of like your human mind, and like you still feel, greed more so than anybody else if you're like a country, right? And you start to see all this asset we're talking about in the trillions of dollars, dude. It's like all of a sudden this thing is like what it claims to be. It's this actual super valuable commodity, right? And like the valuation of it reflects it now.
Yeah.
It's like, all I'm saying is like this is enough data to like validate any of like the traditional, skeptics from like, the old financial world.
Yeah, but there's two sides to this. Bitcoin will get to 100K and a $1.5 trillion asset, and then it's going to lose 70 to 80% of its value over the next 3 years.
Probably.
And everybody else, the other camp that says Bitcoin's a scam, they're gonna be like, "You see, I told you."
Yeah, the Peter Schiff's gonna come out and
Yeah.
like gold's like
And-
barely cracking 2K at that point.
Yeah.
He like made a nice solid 10% over these 20 years of doubt or whatever, 15 years of doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
And but it's gonna crash to like 20,000 or 30,000. Like we got a new low, but it's like absurdly high if you really take a step back and look at it.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean,
Maybe
on
at some
average,
point-
who can really afford a $20,000 or $30,000 Bitcoin? Some
maybe-
people can, but I'm saying like you're not going to be able to collect that one Bitcoin anymore at that point.
Maybe at some point, because I don't know if we have this data or not, but has there ever been a point in time throughout history where like an asset goes through a bubble cycle, but then recovers and then remains, like no longer just like is a bubble cycle necessary in order for it to like sustain its valuation, you know?
Well, I think naturally that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin because every 4 years the halving occurs, the less impact it has on the price.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's what's
going to happen.
What you're saying might not actually happen. There might not be this might be the last like major bear phase.
I agree.
Where there's like an 80-90% correction.
Agreed. This could be one of the last ones, right? The bear corrections are going to get smaller and smaller. I agree.
Yeah. And like you're right. So that probably means like the bullish tops will probably get like
shorter and shorter.
Smaller. So there's going to be less. They're not going to be like freaking massive bubbles anymore. It's just going to be like a volatile market.
That's right.
Like, you know, kind of like gold. Well, gold is still volatile, but like in a much larger time frame because of its huge market cap. You know, but it's a stable thing.
Right.
And Bitcoin's supposed to be this stable asset.
Yeah,
so.
and I think it will be. I think
I don't know if it's going to happen this cycle or maybe like a couple more cycles down the road when this thing's like a $10 trillion asset, you know, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think at some point the bubbles stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You won't be able to distinguish what a high point and a low point is because the time frames are so long.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. It'll
Eventually,
probably be like 20 years for Bitcoin to go up 10 to 20%.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
you know?
See,
yeah,
that's why
man.
it's so important to collect that Bitcoin right now. At least have one. Like ideally, you want to have two, right? One to like play around with.
Ideally, you'd like to have 20 though.
I mean, being reasonable though.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like you play with one, like actually sell it off, but just keep the other one. Just like put it into like a bank, like an actual bank vault. Leave the hard drive in there, and just forget about it.
Yeah.
But
what are you doing with the other one?
The other one is you're actually selling it. You're actually like trading it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So one's for like lock it away and like put that bitch in your will and like pass it down from generation to generation. The other one's like it's just part of your liquid portfolio. Like
that's right.
You can actually
right.
liquidate at any point. Yeah, dude, I wish life was that awesome. Where you could just have like forever money just chilling, dude. You know? That'd be fucking great, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not my reality anymore, dude. Yeah.
I mean, that's the goal. That's like your daily motivation is to achieve that.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just saying. I think it's going to be that important.
The best way to do it is to ride whatever you got in the market now. Just ride the way up, and keep watching the Block Runner podcast because we're definitely gonna call the top, dude. I've called it I've called like 3 tops already, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna be screaming at the top of our lungs whenever we notice, like, okay, it's time to exit. You know, I'm gonna be like, this is financial advice, dude. Because
this is.
Like no more bullshit, dude. Get your funds out, and you know.
Who is it that needs to tweet out about Bitcoin for you to know that this is officially the tippy top?
Like fucking like I don't know, like Logan Paul type shit, you know, like
no.
some kind of.
No, they're young enough to be already in Bitcoin.
Yeah, but to make a ginormous spectacle of it, maybe not him because he's already like in the game of like pumping.
Someone's so disconnected, like disconnected from like reality. Like
it's just Hollywood, dude.
Britney Spears does a tweet and said, "Do you have a Bitcoin?" and it's like, okay, now you sell.
Yeah, it's just Hollywood, pretty much.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Like I remember like Big Bang Theory had a whole episode dedicated to Bitcoin and shit. And
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as it starts to like creep its way back into like Hollywood scripts and like, yeah, you just definitely pay attention to Twitter. I don't know, man. The signs are just always there to me.
Yeah.
You know?
They're obvious when they happen.
Yeah.
It's hard to predict.
Yeah. But again, so ride whatever you got in Bitcoin. If you don't have a full Bitcoin, that's okay, because all you got to do is exit at the right time and then just wait for the right time to buy back in. All of a sudden, you're going to have multiple Bitcoins.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because this is definitely a patience man game.
Yeah.
If you're patient, you can actually ride the waves.
Yeah, those are the only times you should be buying and selling. Like you just have entry and exit points. That's it. Like they're like long-term ones too, not daily like ins and outs. You don't want to do that, dude. Trust me. It's not a fun game. It's not only is it like so stressful to your life, and you're like, you know.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time for sure to be doing day trades.
Yeah.
We should get a well-known day trader to talk about like his daily activities.
His daily life.
Yeah.
I bet you he'll say the same thing. Like, dude, my life sucks ass, bro. But he's like, I spend like 12 hours a day in front of like 6 monitors. There's like 20 different charts in front of my face, you know, like.
But he loves it.
Like, but yeah, whenever he gets the chance to like step away from those screens, and then he like looks at his balance, and he's like, all right, it was all worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm a little different. I'm not so much like money hungry like I was last cycle, you know?
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe it's because I got older and I've lived through the perspective. I had money and I spent it, and like.
So now you realize like having a bunch of money is like,
Yeah, like it's definitely like it solves a lot of things. Like a lot of the cliches are true about money. You know, they're cliche for a reason, because a lot of people lived through it. So like they tell their tales in different ways, whether it's like a rap song or like, you know, some type of shit.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's like more money, more problems, dude. That shit's real. Like it actually happens. Now all of a sudden you can't like trust the people around you because you feel like they're all manipulating you, or they're taking advantage of your, you know, your good status and shit. Yeah. All of a sudden the people around you don't feel real anymore. That's one like super real thing. It's just like short-term thrills that you can like, then you start to think, yeah, what am I going to spend all this money on, you know? Like, and so that occupies your mind too often. And like, but at the end of it, you realize like none of it really was that, you know, that valuable as far as like a purchase goes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Stuff like that. I don't know. I can go on and on about that stuff, but yeah, it's not like I made millions or anything, but I made enough to get a taste of that reality. And so it's like,
I hear you.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, I mean, once you make a ton of money.
I'm not that eager to like do it all over again. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like you should be, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think,
no, there isn't.
I think you would, I mean, if you were to, you know, get that wealth again, I think you would spend it a little bit more wisely.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so I don't know. I think if it does happen again, if this bull run does fulfill the prophecy, you would spend that money a lot better than what you spent it on in the last bull cycle.
Yeah, I would just like to be a lot more selfless in the sense that I'd probably try to be more like philanthropic with it, you know.
Well,
try and help others.
I was more in the angle of reinvesting that in the right.
Well, yeah, to
areas.
go more. Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Because it has to be sustainable. Otherwise, like, why go through this rich phase if you're gonna go right through this poor phase?
Yeah.
You know, like that doesn't. You're not going anywhere at that point.
It's true. It's true. I mean, poor phase sucks too. Like I'm not saying being poor is great or anything.
Yeah.
They're both, you know, it's definitely better to have money than to not have money for sure. Like, it solves a lot of issues. Like, no longer are you just constantly thinking about like, oh man, where's the money going to come from?
Yeah.
Like, money is no longer like a topic of
concern
anymore. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Which is huge. That's like true freedom in this world, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, having to worry about that stuff constantly is definitely a drain on the brain for sure. But I think the real goal is sustainability. I mean, we talk about this all the time, man. I feel like it's a broken record at this point. If you've been listening to the Block Runner,
Yeah.
like we keep talking about sustainability. Like we're talking about the earth and what we're doing to it. Like we can't continue collecting oil because it destroys the planet, right? So that's not sustainable. We talk about Decentraland and the community, what they're working on. That's not sustainable. Events are not sustainable. Like there's a lot of things that humans do that are completely not sustainable. And to me, in my perspective, I just don't understand. I don't understand why.
It just feeds into that what I just talked about. Like it's that short term dopamine release. That's what events in Decentraland feel like to me.
Hey,
You know what I mean?
that's a good explanation for sure.
Yeah, like it like these events that we all host and stuff, it makes us feel good for like the moment, and as soon as they're over, it's like we're back to like destitution.
Yeah.
You know, we're back to
Yeah.
despair. Like, man, there's nothing to do. It's like this is like all of a sudden we haven't escaped from our core issues.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like now all of a sudden our reality and all the anxiety is back. That's always existed, but no
Yeah.
longer are we distracting ourselves with these like events that we're hosting and shit like that.
Yeah. I
Same thing with
definitely
like
feel
spending
that.
your money on like, you know, strippers and like, you know, alcohol, drugs, same thing.
Yeah.
All the same core issues are existent, but you can escape from them for a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the truth, dude.
Yeah, I totally hear you. I think the dopamine response for people having events, that's totally accurate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
so you
God,
yeah.
I
You're in the camp of like and it reflects in like your lifestyle, like you're saying, like you like a sustainability approach where you want things to be like chilling all the time, right?
yeah, right. Exactly.
It doesn't have to be like this like spectacle going on,
Right.
but it's also not like despair and like, you know, straight depression, but it's like nice and hovering in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way you like it. So that's sustainable. That's the way we should aim to make things, you know, because that's the healthiest way to go about life for sure. And like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, that's the healthiest business model, right? That's
yeah,
the healthiest strategy in life, just to be the thing that you do sustain. If you're going to go to the gym, you go to the gym on a consistent basis. Not you don't have like these on seasons and off seasons. Like that's not how being healthy works. There's no off season for health, right?
yeah.
It has to be consistent.
Yeah, I've seen that where like you'll go into a cycle where like, all right, I'm completely out of shape, but now all of a sudden I watch like some like Rocky movie or something, and I
Yeah.
feel like I need to get jacked.
Yeah.
You know, you just watch 300 or something.
Right.
You know? So you hit the gym, you buy all the supplements, you want all the pre-workout and shit, and then all of a sudden, like 6 months in, you like snap your shoulder or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Because you're going too hardcore.
Right.
But instead, yeah, you should have just been lifting lighter weights and like, you know,
Do it
moderation
more consistently. Yeah.
consistently, yeah, and you would have the same result or better result because you wouldn't be injured. You know
That's
what I mean?
exactly right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, these are some life lessons, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I guess we got some now, dude. We've lived some life, so we kind of understand a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's sort of the point of doing the podcast too. It's like we gotta talk about the things that we discover, because if you don't talk about them and share them, then you know these experiences are just sort of wasted.
Yeah, but it's still it's yeah. See, but the events and stuff like that, that's the sexy stuff, right?
Yeah,
That's the stuff.
but
You know, like
it's like to you and me, those events they're so superficial. Like we know, like yeah, the event was cool, but then what?
well, it's because we're staring at the face of
Yeah,
Satan every day, literally.
yeah,
Basically, we're trying to operate a business here
yeah, for
in
sure.
this world. We're trying to sustain ourselves because we're devoting ourselves pretty much entirely to this thing.
Yeah,
So we want it to pay off so we can keep doing it. So all of a sudden our perspective is a lot different than people who just show up from time to time and just want to, you know, get a little bit of the experience, right?
yeah, I 100% agree. I think the business aspect certainly provides, I think, all our viewers with a different angle that, that we struggle with, like sustainability. And I think most people who want to, man, I don't even know if people want to build out Decentraland. Is that even a desire? It's like, does anyone really care? I mean,
What do
you
by
know what?
people? Like landowners?
Anybody in Decentraland. Like, I guess anybody who invested in Decentraland does care. The question is, what can people do about it?
Yeah.
And then if they're willing to do something about it, what should they be doing that's sustainable, that helps Decentraland grow? So shit, I don't even know if we need to be going this deep.
As far as us personally?
Yeah, as far as, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, why? I mean, for us personally, we know why, but
yeah,
but why though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why Decentraland? Why not just we get Corv to make some other application?
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see, why Decentraland?
You know what? You know what it is? I know why. It's because Decentraland has a prototype, which we've talked about before, and that prototype has had a volume of $1 billion, and we think that, as speculators as we are, we think that Decentraland can get there.
Yeah, or beyond.
Yeah, definitely beyond, for sure. Just because the prototype was based on an honor system, and Decentraland is based on cryptography.
Yeah, I think this whole space in general, like, why focus on this whole blockchain gaming space? Me in particular, I have a lifelong devotion to that, is gaming. That's literally the only thing I find joy in this world, without like the influence of substances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, naturally, I spent the majority of my life in that world. I probably have like equal like living hours in the virtual world as I do in the physical world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No joke, probably do. So now I discover, like, now there's like a potential evolution of that second half of my life, to where like no longer is that half of my life spent wasted. Like, if we can accomplish I guess what everyone's trying to do as a collective in this space, like, all of a sudden we have like like a whole new opportunity for a whole new generation. I feel like,
yeah,
like the next generation, not me, dude. I'm too old to like play anything.
But you know what?
I suck at all games now.
Most people in Decentraland, they're our age or older, right?
Yeah.
There's not that many like super young people who are like hanging out in Decentraland. Like,
they're not.
They're just not, right? Because it does require some money to be, in this little sandbox that Decentraland built. But I mean, for the most part, it's like you got to be a generally good developer. You got to have money to be a landowner. You have to have time to be a player. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but so what about it? There's like an older demographic here.
Well, because what I'm saying is, like, we had this meeting earlier with Corv, and we were talking about, blockchain gaming, and the only thing that blockchain provides to the game like ecosystem is the ability to generate money as a player.
Yeah, like I said, it's the ability to exchange your time value in exchange for like
currency value.
Yeah, actual monetary exchange.
Yeah.
But just like you exchange your time for work, like in the real world, the same thing is possible now in these virtual worlds.
In blockchain gaming specifically.
Yeah.
But what I mean about age is that I don't think there's a limit to making money in Decentraland in terms of an age. Like, it's not the same as a basketball player that once you're like 35, you're pretty much at the end of your career. Like, in blockchain gaming, I don't think there's an age limit. That it's weird that somebody's playing Axie at 45 years old. Like, I don't think
if you want to compete, if they structured their game to where like the highest reward potential only goes to those who are the top performers of that game,
they tend to be young.
Yeah, of course, right. Because it requires like either like quicker reflexes, longer endurance. Like, I could barely spend more than an hour staring at this fucking monitor now, dude. Like, my eyes just start to bleed after like a certain amount of time. I used to be able to spend 16 hours
Uh-oh. I may have lost.
Everything in my body.
Yeah. Sorry, we lost you for like a second.
Oh, for like a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, because I spent all that time gaming, now later in life, it's not so easy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
I probably did like irreversible damage to myself.
Yeah, I definitely,
You know?
I understand what you mean now.
Yeah. So that's all I mean is like, yeah. But yeah, it doesn't mean like if you're older, like you can't participate. Like you can still participate, but more than likely, you know, you're not going to have the time, or you probably wouldn't want to spend your time like playing to earn because you have a job.
Yeah.
You know, you probably have kids, you have a house, you have responsibilities and shit, you know. So really this isn't for you. I mean, maybe you can get to that point where, well, I don't see why not. Like gamers are some of like the wealthiest people in our culture now, you know, like Twitch streamers.
Yeah, that's
professional
true.
esports players.
Yeah,
You got 16-year-olds winning like $3, $4, $5 million prizes and shit, you know?
Yeah, PewDiePie makes like several million a year just making YouTube videos.
Just basically doing what we're doing, but he's like playing a game and he's like saying PewDiePie like from time to time. You know, that's all he does.
Yeah.
And he's one of the richest people out there, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So who's to say the same, like, you know, path doesn't happen in this space? Like now, just the regular gamer, you don't have to be like some cool influencer guy. All you got to do is like be good at a game, and there you go. You got livelihood.
I think it goes back to sort of our assessment of what the problem is in Decentraland, and I wonder. It feels like we're the only ones thinking about these problems and like defining them and putting them into like a clean sentence. Like, here's what the problem is, and here's our solution. If you don't agree with our solution, that's because you don't agree with the problem. And I don't think anyone in Decentraland is putting it as concise as we are. I mean, who else
other
can you
people
name?
have different beliefs, you know. If you ask the same question, why Decentraland, everyone's going to have different answers, you know. So we pretty much answered on question right now, right? Like, this is what we see as like the potential for Decentraland, and that's what we saw from the very beginning, and that's why we're still here like almost 2 years later, right? Maybe like a year and a half in or some shit like that.
Yeah,
basically 2 years.
No, it's it's 2 years now, dude.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
No, are you sure?
Yeah, because we interviewed Maddie in 2018. No, 2019.
2019.
Yeah,
like July, right?
July 2019.
Okay, so it's been a little more than 1 year. Jesus, it's only been like a year, dude.
It's only been a year. Oh my god! Holy shit!
Dude, it feels like it's been 2 years already, dude.
Holy shit! I can't believe it.
It's only been like a year and like 3 or 4 months or something. So almost a year and a half.
Wow!
Isn't that fucking bonkers, dude?
Man, dude, feels like a lifetime, man.
I know. So yeah, but see, that's good. I guess that, and the fact that we're feeling this and we're recognizing this right now is another good sign. Like, that's a good thing, right? Yeah, that means life is slowing down.
That's
which
good.
Is good.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. That means you're doing the right thing in life. If all of a sudden, like, holy shit, dude, where'd those 5 years go? Like,
yeah.
You know,
that's bad.
That's a bad thing. That means you're doing the wrong thing. That means you're wasting your life.
Yeah.
You know, because life is just, it just goes by and you miss the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know? So
I guess that is good. But man, it feels like, man, we've gone through like a gauntlet, just like trying to survive.
Well, like I said, because we have a unique perspective in the sense that we're trying. We believe in this so much that we're trying to change it, to mold it to how we think it should work. You know, not just for our benefit, but for everyone who comes after us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Because we're not going to succeed unless everyone else succeeds.
Exactly,
so
dude.
We gotta build that groundwork, and we're hoping through our example, you know, the people following us can, you know, take off too.
See, that's what I like a lot about what we're doing is that we're only successful if everyone around us is successful.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. We can't be solo adventurous in this world.
Yeah, you can't.
It's impossible. Yeah. That's not how you build economies, you know?
That's true.
Like, in order for us to be successful, we need Decentraland to have a robust, booming economy, just like the world. You know, Elon Musk doesn't exist by himself. He exists in a fucking large pool of capital, you know, enterprise.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
know, without the rest of the pieces, Elon Musk can't do what Elon Musk does.
yeah, yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? So
See,
he
but
needs, yeah.
I guess what I'm thinking about right now is the burden of sustainability too much for any like community? Like I don't because
Hold on, rephrase that.
who else is thinking about like sustainability?
I don't
Like,
know, man.
can you
I
point
know.
just give me one example of someone in Decentraland who has built something with sustainability in mind?
Define sustainability first. Meaning like you're not dependent on like third party like grants or something like that. Like
Yeah, like
basically you could sustain your own development through the merit of your own work, like however much you earn, I guess, right?
yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good question. Like define sustainability.
Yeah, because there is nobody sustainability. Like even we're not even in that category anymore. We're no longer
Yeah,
sustainable.
I think the point is that we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to like
Yeah,
crack that
yeah, it
that
doesn't
egg.
exist. It doesn't exist yet in this space.
Well,
You
I
know,
guess the question is, well, how do you sustain anything in Decentraland? Like, is it just a matter of bringing? So let's define this. So let's say sustainability is a simple number like 1,000 DAU, 1,000 daily active users, right?
mm-hmm.
Then let's all like the whole Decentraland agrees 1,000 DAU. That's our goal for sustainability, right? So if that's the case, what do we need to do to get 1,000 DAUs into Decentraland?
Yeah, now you got to define DAU because 1,000 people logging in for a concert and like
Yeah,
pressing three and doing a bunch of this,
yeah,
and then
that's
logging off two
sustainable.
hours later. That
Yeah,
is not a DAU metric to me.
yeah,
A
it's a good point.
DAU is like 1,000 people who at least maybe they log in once a week and
So a
have
thousand
more than
weekly
an
active
hour.
users,
Yeah, active users maybe. That's
weekly, 1,000 weekly active users.
but active user means like they're logging in, like clocking in at least. Let's say they're clocking in at least an hour a day of gameplay.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? 1,000 concurrent users. That's what I want to see. Like, as in, like that's a steady thing in
Yeah.
Decentraland.
Yeah.
Every day you log in, you see 1,000 concurrent people online, and it barely fluctuates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever there's like a major event, you might see 10,000.
Sure. 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 So you're saying at any point of the 24 hours of your existence, you can jump into Decentraland and there's at least 1,000 people.
Minimum.
Yeah.
That's a good start. Like we're not even
Damn.
there, not even close to
Damn.
there, and that is like a bad game. You know,
That's a
in all like traditional gaming world. You
sure.
know, like if you're evaluating Steam metrics for like a Steam platform game, like that's a shit tier game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Huh.
So that's the demon. That's the demon we're looking at every day. As in, like this is how we're gauging the success of the platform, and we're over here trying to sustain ourselves off of this reality. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't fit.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's.
I mean, man. You make a great point.
Yeah. If in order to remain sustainable, like we have to, like us as developers and like content creators of this world, this platform, in order for that to persist, it means we gotta have resources to build these things, right?
But
Like
hold on. There's something that we're missing, or that Decentraland throws a wrench at the whole comparison of Decentraland versus a shit tier game. Is that anyone can make a shit tier game and put it on Steam, and Steam has 10,000 eyeballs at any given moment.
That's true.
So if you have 10,000 eyeballs, maybe 10% conversion will go to your shit tier game and play it.
True, especially if it's like a new release, because Steam has like a whole new release category, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they just like to experiment with the new games. Just you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
They get together with their friends and they just like randomly pick a new game that's multiplayer and they just play it.
So that's the value of the Steam platform, right? Because they've congregated all those different games onto their platform. So like a new indie developer has access to those eyeballs, right? They have that opportunity to maybe they know their game is like hot fire, but they might not have millions of dollars to market it. and make it look like that, right? So at least they can launch it on Steam.
Yeah.
And they can get that 10% of pool who are like just people who are just naturally curious, right? And they'll just give it a shot.
Yeah, they'll give it a shot, and if it has some good traction, then they'll start talking about it, and then all of a sudden it turns
into Among Us.
Yeah, that's right.
That's exactly what Among Us is. It's an indie game that looks like shit.
Not only did it look like shit, but they were about to close their doors before somebody on Reddit or whatever it was, YouTuber.
Yeah, just some influencer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All it takes is like one guy with like 1 million, I don't know, followers, subscribers to play it. And like, yo, this is fucking fun.
See,
his viewers.
Decentraland can't even depend on that, because let's say PewDiePie jumps into Decentraland, he'd be like, "What the fuck's this?"
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, you would have to run that experiment with like throw in like a PewDiePie type guy and like put him in Decentraland.
I wouldn't wish that onto Decentraland, because there's some stuff to do now, but overall there's nothing to do in Decentraland.
It's not. Yeah. See, I say that, and then I think about Among Us. Among Us isn't like this vast open world. It's just like a.
Well, I mean, it's a multiplayer game. Yeah, it's a mini game, but there's a goal in that game.
Yeah.
There's like an objective.
Something like that can be built. Something like that can be built in Decentraland and become like a viral killer thing, like game or app, right? That's possible.
Yeah, but over there in the corner of Decentraland, it's possible. Not like the entire like open world.
No, but is it possible for like let's segue into what we're doing right now. This is like a good segue. Are you here? We're in the district.
Oh,
meaning like, okay, so we have plans to.
Do you want to share your screen? Can you share your screen?
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, I mean, more than likely, this thing's gonna end up being like super choppy and laggy for y'all watching this. On YouTube.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, but it's not super choppy and laggy on my screen. So, but anyways, we are currently in a district, and if you don't notice, like there's metas all throughout it, which is pretty fucking wild. This is like a.
So yeah,
I don't even know how to explain what's happening here, so you probably should do that, Will.
Yeah, so hold on, don't move too much because it's like jarring. But what you're looking at here, for those of you listening, definitely watch this part of the YouTube or audio stream here. What you're looking at here is a district, and for the first time, there's a district with metas on that deployed on the district. So what does that mean? That means that a district leader can now leverage what we pulled together in MetaZone and have people deploy the content that they own, all these metas from Corona Zombies to like an ad board, and deploy it on their land. So why would a district want to do this? Well, because districts have a significantly large problem, a bigger problem than the guy that owns a 1x1. The problem is a district leader holds access to 1,000 or 500 lands, whatever it is, right? 10,000, doesn't matter. And they have zero funding to build anything on that district. And so what has happened in the last 2 years of Decentraland's existence as far as districts go? Nothing. Nothing's happened. The only district that has anything of value is the Vegas district with the casinos, and that's about it. Like, has any other district done anything of interest, of value, of like sustainable creations? I can't think of any. And then yet you look at the map, and these blue boxes. Press M. The blue boxes are so gigantic.
Yeah, this is the one we're in right now. It's tiny compared to these.
Yeah. Yeah, look at this.
These are monsters, dude. Look at this.
Look at there's a giant corner of the open world with almost nothing in it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I think this is the biggest one.
Yeah, this is what, Etheria?
Yeah. So yeah, this one I just walked through.
And we're supposed to assume that these guys are quote unquote working on it. There's nothing happening. Nothing.
Yeah. True.
And so anyways, the whole point of this new ability in MetaZone is to populate the district. Now, what does that mean for the creator? The creator can now build bigger content, that bigger than a 1x1 content. So if a developer out there who has an idea for a game that takes 10x10 or a 6x6, something relatively large for Decentraland, you can now make it, and hopefully somebody buys it. That person that buys it can now deploy it somewhere, and that person that buys that meta doesn't have to own land to deploy it, because now they can deploy it in a district.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? So we've opened up the market for our creators to build bigger content, to sell bigger things to a wider market who don't have any land, who can now deploy it in a district that participates on MetaZone.
Boom.
So,
which is, it's crazy to think about, because I never thought, me personally, we'd ever have the opportunity to even like address this half of the issue that is Decentraland, you know, the district dilemma. That's what I like to call it. I thought that was something, you know, coming into Decentraland, that was like one of the biggest gripes I've heard among the community, you know, as a noob, like, what the fuck is going on in here? And then you kind of like gauge what everyone's talking about from time to time. And it's usually like, when are we going to see something with the districts, you know? Like,
yeah.
I think is the districts are supposed to be like the big showcase zones of the metaverse, you know, because you would think so many landowners, you know, connected to one another would inspire collaboration, maybe.
Yeah.
In a perfect world where all of a sudden all these people can gather their resources together, align their visions, and like produce this amazing content. But
yeah, man, I think there's a misunderstanding in the minds of people that if you have a good idea, all of a sudden it just gets created, and that's not how things work.
It's
like
not.
The biggest thing, the most important thing in any startup is the ability to execute. Ideas do not execute themselves. So even if you have a great idea for a district, it is totally meaningless what that idea is. It is only valuable if you can actually execute on that. So, I mean, so I want to be clear that this is not a shot at any district. They are up against a wall, and it's not even their fault. They were essentially screwed from the beginning, right? From a decision that Decentraland made or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what led them to this point. The problem is we need to agree on the problem, and it doesn't seem like people are acknowledging what the real problem is, or recognizing it, or just, you know, being, I don't know, not truthful to what the real problem is.
Yeah, 100%. So I guess what we're gonna try and like demonstrate and kind of like prove the concept in a way, in the same way, like, you know, when we first made MetaZone, nobody gave a shit, or nobody really knew if it was going to work or not, even ourselves included, right?
Yeah.
We just had a hunch. Like, we deployed a single game on one of our lands, and we're like, yo, you know, this isn't very easy. This is especially costly to any landowner who isn't equipped with the same skills that Oscar has, right? And like, we know like that's a very limited pool of people who have this capability, and it's a likely assumption that 90,000 parcel owners aren't all developers, right? It's probably a very small fraction of that, and we were 100% correct in our assumption, because nothing is being built.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So we're like, the platform needs to exist for these builders and these landowners to, you know, to like have like symbiosis with one another in a way. You know what I mean? So we built MetaZone. So there's
so what Oscar did was a showcase of the platform that he built. Right. He was the Half-Life to MetaZone's Steam.
Yeah, so he built all the games. He built all like the first original metas, right? And then so after, I think people started to buy them, so landowners started to understand, okay, now there's potential for me to populate my land with some actual content. Finally, you know, this didn't exist until this point. So MetaZone as a platform is proven in my eyes, and hopefully in your eyes too, loyal listeners. As Oscar starts to move back there, look, he's waving, dude.
Yeah.
What timing, dude?
Yeah.
What? Anyway.
Yeah, he's not even like online to any extent or listening.
He's just clapping for like no reason,
wow.
dude. He's clapping at his own achievements, dude. He knows what we're talking about, dude. That's fucking weird.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, the timing was perfect. Anyways, so we got to do it again, basically, with these districts because we have a whole new problem now.
Yeah, that's right.
It's completely different. We have to think it through, and we have to figure out how to how this platform can service them as well.
So yeah, so let me reiterate how this thing is going to work from our perspective.
Yeah.
And what we think is aligned with every single person, every single party involved when it comes to a district. So let's describe the parties, right? There's the MetaZone party. There's the meta owner, the person who goes onto MetaZone and buys the content, whether it's a game or a building, it doesn't matter. So there's a meta owner. There is the district leader, and then there's the content creator. So there's only four. There's only four parties to satisfy. Now, only saying only four, I mean that's a lot of people, right? That's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of people to satisfy. It's not exactly a straightforward thing to like accomplish.
Yeah.
So here's our idea, our proposal, or how we're seeing solving the district dilemma. So now that meta owners can deploy any content without having land, that means creators can make bigger content, right? You're no longer kind of pigeon-held to building one-by-one contents because that is your market size. That if you build a one-by-one, there's very likely a landowner out there that will see your content and deploy it because they have at least a one-by-one.
Yeah.
But now
the majority of landowners are one-by-ones, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So now the content creator can say, hey, I made this building. It's a 2x1. It's a 3x2 or a 6x6. It doesn't matter what it is. Now it's bigger and it can be sold on MetaZone. And anybody who doesn't necessarily own land, but they like Decentraland or they want to interact in this metaverse, they can buy that 6x6 content and deploy it into a district. So what does a district get? The district gets a content first deployed in the emptiness that is the districts. Mm-hmm. Like it's essentially empty, right? Now they get content deployed into the district. So what? Now they have a building, right? So what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is there's probably going to be multiple people deploying in that district. And multiple people deploying in a single district means you get residual foot traffic in that district because the guy that deploys the gallery in the district is probably next to the guy that deploys Corona Zombies in that district. Corona Zombies has events, though that event leads to more eyeballs at the gallery. And so all of a sudden, metas on districts potentially earn more revenue because of the residual foot traffic. And so now the revenue is split between the district, the meta owner, MetaZone, and the creator. Satisfying all four parties. Look at that.
Yeah, something like this was initiated and attempted in Decentraland that I can think of called the Neighborhood Project. A collection of people attempted to like purchase land all connected to one another and kind of like simulate what a district with like shared ownership of content would look like.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it worked. It worked from the extent that a bunch of landowners who also could create content, made content, deployed it in the land right next to each other, and that was that. Mm-hmm. But
the problem with the content is I don't think any of it was revenue generating potentially.
and that I don't know if that was the intended goal for the Neighborhood Project.
That's true.
I think their goal was accomplished in the sense that they got a bunch of people. First of all, collecting a group of people to buy the land next to each other, I mean, that in itself is really difficult. Yeah, and then on top of that, the people that bought that land can also deploy content on that land on their own. I mean, you're talking about the few people that could do that are actually doing that in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're taking that same kind of concept and we're expanding it. We're allowing creators to be more creative. First of all, you have to be extremely creative to make stuff on a 1x1, But now you have a little bit more creativity in the sense that you have more space to build, and you can build taller too. So
yeah, so one thing we also need to figure out is how to get district leaders on board. For one, we're getting that started with this one. This one is currently called Game Junction. It's over here, -68, -7. If you want to come visit it, but so yeah, we need to get more districts on board, and they have to have a way to kind of like post a call to action to the community of creators that exist on MetaZone. Like they have to paint a vision, kind of like we've already kind of got that started with the versus page ourselves. Like the idea of a verse is like instead of a district, it's an actual game verse within the metaverse that we're like painting a vision of that game verse. One example is Chrono Zombies, the other one Ethermon. And we're also laying out all the individual assets that exist within that universe or gameverse. And at some point in the future, it's going to have all the important metrics needed to gauge, all the transaction volume, the meta purchases, all the gameplay activity, stuff like that. So we're going to have to figure out an angle as well, how to get district owners to like attract creators to start producing the right metas. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, so like for example, if you're a district owner and your theme is like Egyptian theme, like you need to post a call to actions like I need Egyptian themed content created by the community. Post it on MetaZone. We'll do some marketing to get that stuff bought and deployed within the district, and the district owner can decide where to put it, and it's crowdsourcing content creation for your district. Like there's a platform for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's obviously a lot. I'm pretty sure this is going to snowball into like some, district features 6 months from now are going to look nothing like what we just discussed.
Yeah, for sure.
There's going to be so many different evolutions to it, just like how MetaZone has progressed.
So I think if you play this sort of incentive mechanism out to infinity, I feel like we can populate the districts significantly faster than we can populate Decentraland, going one by one, landowner by landowner. And
why do you think that? Do you think the districts are more?
I think because of the compounding effect of a district. If a district has a bunch of content owned by the community because they bought it and they played in that district, that community has a residual benefit with each other, that if one hosts an event in that district, the other pieces of content on that district get foot traffic and therefore potentially more revenue share of what happens within that district, just because now we have several people shilling the same land because you have so much content deployed in a single location.
So the thing that interests me is like, I'm not 100% certain on like the structure of districts. I've heard people like Rio try to explain it to me as far as like districts are essentially owned by a bunch of people, like people own the land underneath the district. So do you foresee a reality where, let's say on this district alone, we get the ball rolling on this district and we can prove our concept and we show that we can attract enough foot traffic to this small district with 30 something lands, and there's enough people here with engaging content that was all created through MetaZone creators, and it's all being deployed by this one district owner to where it now becomes the shining star of districts that all the other landowners from all the other districts are going to start demanding that their district hosts or whatever they're called start, utilizing the same platform that our Kickstarter district is using. Do you think that is going to happen? Do the district owners give a fuck enough to like, if they saw that proof of concept, would they jump on board? What do you think? Or do they really not care that much?
No, that's a good question. I think there's a 50-50 split between how districts are broken up in terms of some have business models that are completely not aligned with what's actually happening in Decentraland. And then the other 50% maybe have some activity in terms of the district, landowners in that district, that they're gonna request that the district be connected to MetaZone so that content and revenue generation at least begins to yield some value in holding this land in the district.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if people are paying attention in Decentraland, like that's what I foresee happening. If you're not paying attention, then you really don't care about what's happening in Decentraland, right? You're just gonna buy your land, hold on to it, and just not think about it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and if you completely disagree with our assessment of districts, let us know in the comments. Let us know on Discord. Call us out. Explain to us what you think is actually happening with districts, or I don't know. Put your own thoughts out there and let us know, because we want to hear it.
Yeah. I think enough time has passed to give districts an opportunity to like present their case as far as like their potential to deliver on their end, you know?
Yeah, and the district's leaders, it's cool having access to thousands of lands, all right? Like it's very cool, but it's as cool as having a website that nobody visits. Right? So you can have a cool like landing page, but if nobody gets there, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah, very true. So basically the value only comes from the traffic you can generate.
Yeah, and the content that gets deployed. I mean,
Yeah,
otherwise, what are we doing? What are the districts doing? Just like sitting there doing nothing. Like what I don't understand.
Yeah, ultimately, like the districts have to get their act together one way or another, because these are the hubs, the zones most likely for engaging content for like a player base to exist and to frequently revisit within all of Decentraland, right? Because the rest of the land content is like fragmented among multiple owners, so it's going to be a lot more difficult to coordinate any kind of like cohesive vision, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier for a district to do that, because really it's like centralizing all of that into one location. I mean, MetaZone as a platform and like the Gameverse is supposed to kind of like solve that fragmentation issue among the general population of landowners, but districts are it's just easier. Like all the land's connected, it's all here in one place, so yeah, they have the highest potential to produce something good, something really captivating to where people are going to come back over and over again. That's why, in our mind, this is the perfect opportunity for us to create a PvP battleground.
Boom.
Which is exactly what we're going to do.
Such a killer segue, Yeah. Segue of the year, dude.
Like, segue of the year. I've had a lot of good ones, dude. Yeah, I think that might top the charts.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, I feel like it's a no-brainer. Like, what are we gonna do with this nice big chunk of land? I mean, we don't control this. We're not saying we own the district now. We're like, oh,
no, definitely not. They can revoke our access at any time that they wish.
That's correct. But we've proposed to this district owner, like, we're creating a PvP meta, which is essentially just a grid of space, right? That within this grid of space, you're now able to kill other avatars, with our gameplay mechanics. You don't just tap on their shoulder and be like, "Ooh, you're dead."
Yeah.
We're actually gonna be shooting at each other with motherfucking phaser beams and shit at some point in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we want this to be cool as fuck. But so very soon we'll be hosting an event to kind of like get that ball rolling too.
Very soon, like within the next 6 to 7 days. Very soon.
Yeah, probably like by the time you guys watch or listen to this, like within the next few days.
Yeah.
So I mean, come participate in this, because this is a big deal, dude. This is, as far as I know, this is the first time PvP, real PvP, has existed in the metaverse. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So, I mean, what the fuck? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, like a shooter PvP. I mean, we've had a PvP experience with the soccer tournament, right? So we're gonna expand that and do a PvP shooter experience.
Yeah, that's right. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, that the soccer tournament is PvP in the sense there's two teams and they're co-op playing with one another to achieve. I guess that's cool, but I don't know. When I think player versus player, I think kill.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
but anyways, so we're just utilizing the fact that we have metas like scattered throughout this district currently. Like, if you didn't play paintball as a kid, like I don't know, you missed out bigly. But this to me is the most ideal paintball course I've ever seen. There's plenty of cover scattered throughout this district to where, you know.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can customize this arena with different metas, and so if you hide behind a billboard that says MetaZone on there, you won't get shot, right? And that's sort of the point.
Yeah, so I mean, this whole I'm not exactly sure how big the PvP zone is going to be, but it's going to be big enough to where there's going to be plenty of cover, plenty of open spaces. So there's going to be like strategic shooting involved, but it should be fun, dude. It should be fucking killer. Like I said, this is the first time this is going to exist, so I can't wait for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, only reason this is possible now is because we have like alignment with the district, I guess. And by the way, the district owner doesn't own this content, right?
Yeah, the district don't. Yeah, that's correct. The district leader does not own this content. This content is owned by actually two individuals. We have PW and we have UW.
Yeah, good luck saying that one.
Yeah. Well, so there's essentially two pieces of two owners who are deploying their content here. And it could be 10 owners. It could be, 20 owners. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Ultimately, like you as a meta owner, you are a contributor to this district. You're contributing your property of game content, of assets, whatever it ends up being, to this district to utilize, I guess, how they feel is best implemented, or there's got to be some kind of like community. I guess you kind of like form like a micro community at that point. Like you as contributors of metas and you, as these district owners, you're gonna have to collaborate in a way to figure out how to get all, these two classes of assets to build like the best experience possible. Because it's to the benefit of both parties.
That's right.
Because whatever revenue, whatever being generated here in this specific location is being split among all parties. So
that's right.
That's where again, following the aligning the incentive protocol that we've existed on up until this point, we're just putting that to the districts now. So yeah,
hopefully we've explained what we're doing with districts now. And if you have any questions, let us know on Discord, whether it's in Decentraland's Discord or our own Discord. Just hit us up. I think that covers everything. We want to keep this short. It's been about an hour and 8 minutes. But
yeah, let's keep it short. Just like show up if you want to have fun times. I can't think of anything more fun than
shooting each other. I'm telling you, when we were testing Corona Zombies back in the day, and we can actually kill each other at that time, because at that time we were like testing different aspects of Corona Zombies, and we could shoot at each other. I would spend my time just shooting at Iron Man while he was trying to shoot the little spiders, and it was quite the entertaining factor in our testing moments there.
Yeah, it was super triggering.
Yeah,
mostly because like I was actually trying to achieve like goals.
Goals.
But, yeah, I was trying to actually play the gameplay objectives, but you were just griefing me the whole time.
Yeah.
But remove those gameplay objectives, and now it's an even playing field. And now I'm gonna like kick your ass as soon as gameplay comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you got a bit of
I think we're gonna have a new
advantage.
contract too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So there's gonna be wearables at stake this weekend for this PvP. So man, it's gonna be quite interesting to see what happens.
I'm not 100% sure what the contract objective is going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a kill count, just like
maybe
just like the spiders and sushis.
25 kills. You get 25 kills, you get in a raffle. If you get the most kills, you get
We'll structure it the same. The best PvPer of the weekend will guarantee like a wearable. If you don't know what the wearables look like, I'm rocking it right now. This is the full set.
Dude, look at that! Damn.
This is the Corona Zombies mercenary set. So there's only 100 of each piece in existence. Actually, less than that now.
Yeah.
Because a large portion has been distributed. But it's a legendary class, so pretty cool. Actually has real value to it.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, but yeah, that's kind of the whole point. Like, you know, again, these things exist in the traditional gaming space where you could PvP and earn in-game content and rewards, but none of that shit has any value to it. You know,
yeah.
All it is stuff you can just like this, put it on your avatar, and that's as far as
the functionality goes.
yeah. There is no way for you to extract any additional value other than like e-glory. You know? But this right here, I mean, if you're lucky, you could list on OpenSea or whatever, or Decentraland Marketplace, and make you a nice little, you know, Sunday dinner fund or something. You know, or maybe like weed fund for the month. You know? Depends how you like to spend your money, but that's the point though. Like you're actually earning something by doing this stuff. So
no, absolutely. So yeah, make sure you join us this weekend. So this is going to be a testing ground for this PvP. There's still a lot of stuff that we need to build out, but the functionality is there, and the ability to shoot each other and WebSockets, real-time shooting effects, all that stuff is going to be there. So make sure you join us and give us feedback, because we need a lot of it, and hopefully you will you'll enjoy what we bring this weekend. Make sure you follow us at The Block Runner and at MetaZone.io on Twitter. Comment and subscribe, like all that stuff on YouTube, and hopefully we will see you next week on the next Block Runner.
Yep. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
All right.